I'm Chris Giannetti, Assistant Superintendent of Jackson Public Schools. And today for our first segment of All In for JPS, I am here with our Superintendent, Jeremy Patterson. How you doing?
Hello, Chris.
So we're here today to talk about a lot of things about JPS, but most importantly, the bond. Can you kind of give us some information about what the bond looks like November 4th?
Absolutely. Jackson Public Schools is running a bond campaign. We want you to vote yes this November 4th. This will bring in $126 million for a 0% tax increase and really touches every building again within the district, from the things that both the facility assessment and the program assessment highlighted that could benefit Jackson Public Schools.
So how did you get to the bond decisions?
Yeah, we had a bond planning committee that met and they started to look at the program assessment that the students and teachers and administrators were looking at, and the facilities assessment that the experts came in, looked at all our buildings and what areas weren't we able to accomplish back in the 2018 bond. So when the bond planning committee, about 50 constituents from our community all got together, they highlighted the top priorities and other things that maybe we didn't need to have to come up with a consensus before presenting it to our Board of Education.
So one of the first things that they kind of look at is infrastructure, right? Like what is end of useful time, what needs to be done. So kind of in that area, what are we working on there?
Absolutely. So we have wonderful buildings and we want to keep them that way, but the average age of our building is about 78 years old. So we have some roofs that weren't repaired or weren't in need last time that are now. Boilers, there was a flood at Parkside that left behind damage, and ultimately we don't want to dip into our educational fund or our general fund to fix our properties. We want to have a bond program where those resources can be allocated to fixing the roofs and the infrastructure and the tower at Jackson High School, and not take away from any funds that could go directly to our students and staff.
Well, and people can relate. They have a house, so they know that there's always work that needs to be done. And we have 7 elementaries, a middle school, and a high school, right? So a lot of those buildings need a lot of work.
Yeah, you know, similar to a home, so that makes a lot of sense. And so the good news is with a Cascades Elementary and a John R. Lewis, we don't have to do as much work because that was a high priority. Those buildings were brand new, so it's very minimal, the work that we have to do there. And so now we want to bring our other buildings up to speed, or maybe they didn't get certain things last time, and we want that consistent experience across the district from building to building.
So one of the things is the comfort zone. So, and I understand there's some upgrades being made to each of the schools that don't already have air conditioning.
Yes, so probably 30 to 40% of our buildings are currently air conditioning, and again, that's, you know, like I want to go to that building where they're at, and so it's not a consistent experience, and we want to make it more consistent. We want to increase instructional time, and it's very difficult. Third floor at Jackson High or middle school at Parkside that doesn't have exterior air coming right in, a breeze or anything. So we want to increase those opportunities, as well as we have medically fragile students and staff members that we want to work in a safe environment that's conducive to teaching and learning. So that's a priority to finish what we've already started. Cascades Elementary, again, fully air conditioning, so that's going great, but other buildings like Jackson High and Parkside, not so much.
And it's time, definitely time. So when we're talking about things that are also happening, I understand that what we're planning on doing is an innovation center here at the Jackson High. Can you talk a little bit about where that's going and what those opportunities there are for our students?
Absolutely. Anytime I'm out in the community, they're talking about increasing, you know, the workforce readiness and the skill set that our students have, that whether it's the trades or something that we're very good at Jackson High is entrepreneurship. In our co-op program, our students are being highly successful, and we want to have the best facilities. So this innovation lab will connect right here to Jackson High School, and it'll be a tremendous opportunity where we can grow our robotics program, and we can continue to partner with the Jackson Area Career Center, where our students are going out and they're having a phenomenal experience there. But in case they don't offer something that's innovative and that's up and coming, that we can do that here at Jackson High School. So we're proposing the demolition of Reynolds Hall here and the building of an innovation center, because we're a little bit landlocked in how much space we have. And simultaneously, the new innovation center, the second floor, would be office space that Reynolds Hall or administration building could occupy.
And understanding too that this partnership that we have with the Career Center, that the things we will be adding are other things that our students can enjoy, as well as some of our students can't get over to Career Center because of their schedule and things like that. So I also understand too at the elementary, we plan on doing some outdoor learning spaces. Can you talk a little bit about those and the desire for those?
Yeah, so the outdoor learning spaces is like the last thing to make the cut. When we found out there was a little bit more dollars that could be allocated, the bond planning committee said, yes, that would be great. So, you know, our students want to move. It's hard to sit and get and to really retain it. So when they're more interactive with the curriculum, they do better. So right now it currently looks like go sit under a tree and read a book. And so we wanted to look more like an outdoor classroom setting that is conducive to teaching and learning, where it's intentional space to teach differently and have a different experience as students are interacting with the curriculum.
And in our last bond, we added a lot of collaboration space, which our staff really enjoys, working in those areas with students and just together to be able to collaborate. So I think we're going to add some more to some of our elementary buildings as well.
Yeah, a huge win last time was my old office space at Parkside is now collaboration room, used across the district. So a lot of people go there because it's a great space, and we want to make sure every building has those spaces. I think of Montessori as a smaller school that doesn't have that space that could truly benefit from something that other schools are having a tremendous impact on currently.
And I think we'll see some upgrades to a couple of our cafeterias too that are much needed space, and changes in there too as well.
In 2018, we couldn't ask for everything, so Jackson High cafeteria wasn't touched, okay? And so now this is an opportunity to look at the furniture that's there, look at the spaces there. We have a successful Viking store that's there, but it needs an upgrade. So Jackson High is going to turn 100 years old, and like I said, between the programs that are going well or just the equitable learning spaces, the cafeteria is another space that could be fully renovated with new furniture and upgrades.
So in terms of athletics, what kinds of things are we adding on or maybe upgrading for athletics this time around?
Yeah, when I think of athletics, I don't just think about our sports teams, but I think about our community. I mean, we just had a homecoming where the whole entire community came out, filled the stadium at Jackson High School, but you know, that's been there a long time, and they're starting to have cracks, and that's not very conducive here in Michigan. So the stadium bleachers need to be repaired. The lights are old, so it's hard to get people to climb to the top to change the light bulbs, and so we're looking to change the lighting systems at the football stadium at Withington, baseball stadium at Jackson High School, soccer at Mee Hall, and tennis courts at Parkside as well. Those tennis courts at Parkside are not only used by our athletes and by our physical education program, but a ton of people within the community. I mean, those courts stay busy from, you know, as soon as the season opens to when it ends. And so we have to continue to keep things modernized and upgraded so they don't become cracked and crumbled and not very safe for anybody who's using them.
Well, and our high school is an iconic building, and that last time around we did the chimney, and so this time around it definitely is the tower to keep that restored the way it needs to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one more thing about safety is the field house at Parkside. You know, we talked about the $1 million, $2 million flood that took place there, and that had some significant damage. And so that floor is deemed past its useful life, which means, you know, it works, but is not as safe as it could be. And so we look to upgrade those facilities and repair some of the damages that took place at Parkside, and specifically in the field house area.
So the upcoming community meeting is when?
October 14th, 5 o'clock at Parkside. We've done 2 during the bond planning committee and 3 during this kind of rollout process, and so they have been well attended, but there's people who still don't know, and so we have to continue to work to get the word out.
And so if people are interested in getting a yard sign up or being a part of our walking campaign, where can they go to?
We have a bond advocacy team, and so hopefully those team members are making connections with the community. They can come right here to Reynolds Hall, or any of our buildings will be able to provide support. So we're going to disseminate at least 300 yard signs. We're going to start going door to door, and there's more information online. So you don't need to know somebody or to be connected. We want folks to be connected, but if they just want to go to jpsk12.org, there's lots of frequently asked questions about the money portions, the building portions, or all the questions that they could think of.
So, what is the one last thing that you want to say to everybody about the bond?
Jackson Public Schools is a tremendous asset to our community, and we're looking for folks to vote yes to support education, to support our community, and it's a 0% tax increase. So we just want to keep the good work of the district going and the partnership with the community alive, strong, and well.